So I'm here at Atlanta Motorsports Park for a track day, and I'm testing out this little box known as the Dragy. Now this box has a little GPS chip. It comes with an app, and its purpose is to give you your track times. Now this Dragy and the original app was really focused on the drag strip, on quarter-mile times, on eighth-mile times, and your 0 to 60. However, they've recently released a new app that's focused on track days, and they have Atlanta Motorsports Park as one of the tracks. So I'm going to test it out and see how it's working, how it works on this track, how you connect to it. I'll show you some of the features in the app, and then I'll track some lap times and see how it goes. Now, this is my first time at the track, so I'm in the novice group. We're really not going to be going as fast as you would maybe if you were in the red or the higher power group, but at least it'll be able to show you how it's supposed to function. Okay, before I get into my track data, there's a couple things you'll want to do to get started with the DragyLap app. Now, Dragy has actually the main app, the Dragy app, is more for drag racing, for the drag strip. They've come out with a new app called DragyLap, and that's what I've been testing. So make sure you go into your app store and download the DragyLap app. When you log into the application, you'll need to sign in. And then once you've signed in, then it'll show you the tracks that are in your area. Now you're looking here at Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama, and you have Talladega and Talladega Grand Prix. You can select the track you want. If I select Barber Motorsports Park, it's going to show me some information about the track down here, and then I can select go. Now, once I select go, you'll see this screen kind of in landscape mode, which shows you your current time, your miles per hour, your current lap time, and then you can use this to record video as well as your connection points with the Dragy. Now, once you're done, you can click this X button and hit confirm exit, and that will record your data. Now, the first 2 times I did this, I went through that process and then I was done, and there was no data. There was nothing in history. There was nothing under tracks showing me, how my laps had gone. And so I had to uninstall the application, reinstall it, and then from there forth, it worked perfectly. So if you do run into an issue, I would recommend doing that. Now let's get into my actual lap data. Okay, so you can see here that it recorded 2 different sessions that I had. One was 8 laps, one was 7 laps. I'm gonna go into the 7-lap session and just kind of show you around. Actually, I might jump back and forth between both. So let me start with this one actually, because there's a couple cool features here, and I like the way one of them showed up better in this 8-lap session. So at the top, you will see the track, and if you click this little play button, it will give you this overlay and the simulation of how you did on the track. I can hit the play button here, and it's going to show how fast I was in these various corners, and where you were braking and accelerating and so on and so forth. Now, the one thing that I don't love about this is it doesn't give you a way to select which lap it shows in this simulation. So on this run, it showed a pretty decent version of this, but then on the next run, it picked like when I went into the pits, so it looks really weird. I asked them, I actually sent them an email, hey, can I choose which lap this simulation makes? And they're like, no, you can't. So maybe they'll do that as a feature later on. Getting down to the meat of it, you'll see it'll give you your top speed, how many laps were in that run, your best time. It'll show you the lap times, and then a plus and minus based on your, or a plus really based on your best overall lap time. It'll show you your speed. Now, the one thing that's a little weird is it says maximum speed 66, but you can see here that obviously I went faster than 66. I think my top speed was 107, as they said. So I'm not sure if this calculation is wrong. Maybe they're taking an average instead of they're taking the top. Not really sure why. Then you can go and look at the acceleration, the maximum G's that you had on that run. The braking, I'm guessing this is when you brake and how much brake you're applying. They don't really have a way of measuring that because they're not hooked into the ECU. And then the elevation change throughout the run. That's the main information. If we go here to this one, and let me just click kind of the share button. What you can do is you can create either like a square card, something that would be more applicable for like Instagram, or you can actually download a full page with all of the stats, which I like as well. The thing that they don't allow you to do is export the data. And that's my main issue with Dragy, the DragyLap app and the whole Dragy system. It's a super closed system. So if I wanted to use it and record video through the app, I would be able to do some of the video overlays and statistics that I'm showing you right here. And that's great, except for I use my phone for lots of things during the day, and I don't really want to drain my battery or fill up my storage space recording video when I have a GoPro and a mount and all of this other equipment that I have with me. I just want to use a Dragy for the data, and I want to be able to take that data and then combine it with other video to hopefully make some of these videos that I'm showing you with the overlays. Now, unfortunately, I've emailed Dragy and they say, hey, we don't allow you to export the data. Maybe they'll add that as a feature later on, but right now there's no export feature. So I'm reliant upon the GPS data that my GoPro is capturing. And while it's good, it's not great. I find that the Dragy data seems to be far more accurate and far more feature rich. However, I can't do anything with it outside of their closed application system. So that's my biggest gripe with the Dragy. Maybe next time when I go to the track, I will go ahead and hook up my phone and record the video and then see what I can do with the video and the data from the Dragy afterwards. Maybe they have a much better system once you've recorded video. But as for right now, the data sits in this mobile application and nowhere else. So what are my overall thoughts on the Dragy? I think it's a pretty good system. I mean, if you compare it to something like the AIM Solo 2, which is a much pricier option, runs around $500 to $700, it's a much cheaper option at $150 to get a lot of the same data. Now, the AIM Solo 2 has a lot other benefits. You know, it plugs into the ECU, so it's going to give you things like throttle position, braking position. It's going to give you some more accurate data, but it's 3 times the cost, sometimes 4 times the cost, depending on where you're buying it for. The Dragy gives you a lot of that super accurate data, not maybe the stuff that's connected to your car, but overall GPS, lap times, which is what most people want anyway. And then some of the other data as far as, you know, acceleration, G-force, braking, that kind of thing. However, the lack of ability to export it out of the app and really combine it with other footage or other types of data is the big downfall. And I think it's something that's super easily solvable. So I'm not sure why they haven't done it, or maybe they plan on doing it in the future. I didn't really get a good response from them when I kind of sent my message and said, hey, it might be a good idea to have this included. So honestly, that's the one killer feature in my opinion that's missing. If that's not important to you, then this is a really good option if you don't want to spend $500 for something else. Plus, not only does it do lap times, but the initial purpose of the Dragy was to give you more drag race style times anyway, right? Your quarter mile, your eighth mile, your 0 to 60, and it's still really good for that. There's a whole separate app for that. So it's a versatile little box. It's not just for lap times, it's also for the drag strip. So overall, I would say it's a pretty good deal, pretty good system, but just that one feature of lack of export really is holding it back in my opinion.